do a professional judgment because they may be able to reduce your student aid index, which is how they determine financial aid, is that student aid index. So good? Any more questions? No? Okay. Clear as mud? Okay. All right, so once this is a screenshot. Once the student gets to this page, the student will need to identify the parent. The student doesn't necessarily have to identify both parents because there'll be another option for the parents to do that part. I feel like this is the worst part of the new FAFSA is students will need the parent's social and date of birth in order to get to the next page. So this is why we're really pushing for families to sit down together to do the FAFSA application. Because I'm not sure that I want to give my kids my social or my date of birth or any of that. They should know my date of birth, but not my social. So it's really important that you guys sit down together to do that part because it needs to match when the parent goes in to do their part. All right, so once the student submits the parent information and they hit submit, they're going to get a confirmation saying you're almost there, and it will identify any of the parents that were indicated on the FAFSA application. And then move on to the next. And then the parent will get the email saying, hey, your student just submitted a FAFSA, now it's your turn to do your part. So the parent can go in and click the link, or this is how they'll log in with that username and password the parent created. This is what they'll see is you've got a FAFSA out there that someone wants you to finish. Or you can go in and start as the parent. So you don't necessarily have to wait for the student to do their part for you to initiate that FAFSA application for them. And that's kind of the route I would recommend. Because just go in first, do your part, and say, hey, now it's your turn. So you can be the one to initiate the process. So then, again, it's going to ask the same questions that it asked the students, demographics. It will go back over your marital status, or so maybe your student messed something up. You can go in and correct that on your side. You'll enter, did you file taxes for 2022? Because that will be the income tax that will be used on the 24-25 FAFSA is for the 2022 income tax. Another screenshot. They'll just answer the questions based off their 2022 income tax. And if parents filed separately, so for anything other than married filing jointly, if parents filed jointly, you're only going to need one FSA ID. But if parent filed any other way than married filing jointly, you may have to have more than one. One parent have one FSA ID, another parent have their very own FSA ID, in order for them to pull the income tax into the FAFSA application. This is really boring. This is fun. All right. If parents make less than $60,000 for the 2022 taxes, their assets will be skipped. And let's talk about assets that are required on the FAFSA. So if you do make more than $60,000, you will be asked about your assets. So new this year, it will ask your value of your family farm. If you own a small business, again, the value of your small business, money market, mutual funds, stocks, 529 plans, rental property. What is not considered a FAFSA is the home that you live in. That is not an asset according to the FAFSA that they're looking for. Your 401k plans, your pension funds, annuities, and non-education RAs. Do not list those on your FAFSA as an asset. And then you're always able to go back in and change anything or adjust anything or review. So once you get to this page, you can always go back and say, I don't know if I did this part right. You can make adjustments. Even after you've submitted the FAFSA, you can go back and make corrections. But just so you know, like my lady over here in the back, the more you touch the FAFSA, let's say you're going in 7-10 times, you may get flagged for verification. FYI. Adding schools will not impact that at all. So you can go back and forth with adding schools. It does not change submitting the FAFSA. Does that help? Okay. All right, and then this is the best part. This is what the student will get once the parent submits their FAFSA. So once the student and the parent have a completed FAFSA in, they'll get a confirmation page. And what happens next? So it generally